Well, one of the last off-season dominoes has finally fallen. Baker Mayfield officially traded to the Carolina Panthers, and guys, it makes a lot of sense from a Carolina perspective. Obviously, I want to give my take on the Browns' perspective as they go into the season, likely with Jacoby Brissett as their starting quarterback. But first, the Panthers giving up a 2024 conditional fifth-round pick. Deal is pending a physical. All parties have split the financials to make it happen. So one of the major holdups in a potential Baker trade was the fact that he was due his $19 million rookie option that many of these teams that were going to be trading for him didn't want to take. It looks like the finances are being split. Maybe the Browns pay $8 million, the Panthers pay $9 million or something like that. I don't know. Basically, he's traded for nothing. The Browns just had completely fractured their relationship with Baker, and it really is unfortunate because of the whole Deshaun Watson situation, very likely going to be suspended at least 6 games. It's almost like Baker would have been the perfect backup to have, where maybe you go 3-3 in Deshaun Watson's absence. While he's being suspended, they're going to have to roll with Jacoby Brissett. I don't think Jacoby Brissett is very good, but again, he seems like a capable backup. Maybe you win 2 or 3 games, you stay in the playoff hunt, and then you get Deshaun Watson back. But from a Carolina Panthers perspective, this is something that had to be done. You had to get a legitimate quarterback. You couldn't go into the season with Sam Darnold, who was the worst starting quarterback last year in the NFL. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of QB battle, but I would most certainly expect Baker Mayfield to be the starter week 1. And of course, their game week 1 is a home game versus the Cleveland Browns, which is it's just amazing. It's almost like the NFL planned this. That's what people were saying. So the Browns with very likely Jacoby Brissett, that the Browns might be underdogs in that game with Jacoby Brissett, or maybe it's a pick'em. Maybe the Browns are 2-point favorites. The Panthers should have a healthy Christian McCaffrey. They've got DJ Moore. They've got Robbie Anderson. They have pieces on that offense. We'll see what the Panthers can do overall as they continue to really mentor their young quarterback that they drafted in 2022, Matt Corral. Does Matt Corral get a shot later in the season if Baker struggles a little bit? Maybe they're 5-8, maybe they're 4-9. You want to give him some playing time. He's on the bench. We might see Matt Corral later in the year. But if you're the Panthers, this is a very, basically a necessary move. You were either going to tank and try and get one of the top quarterbacks like a CJ Stroud or like a Bryce Young, or you were going to do this and trade for a legitimate, mediocre, but a legitimate starting quarterback in Baker Mayfield, and that's what they want to do. So we'll see how Baker does in that system with McCaffrey, with those receivers. Baker, he'd be a great backup, but as a starter, we know, really mediocre at best at this point, but he is still relatively young, and he's going to be playing for a starting job next year in the NFL, let alone a new contract. So he will be very motivated for that week 1 game. And then, of course, the other side of the coin, the Seattle Seahawks. What are the Seattle Seahawks gonna do? I had said way back when that I thought they should go into a full rebuild, fire Pete Carroll, trade DK Metcalf while he's still worth a first-round pick. Now you're in a situation where Drew Lock is potentially going to be your starting quarterback. The last major QB is really off the market that you could have traded for. There were rumors they were going to trade for Baker. Now it's looking like the Seahawks are in a real bad spot going into the season with Drew Lock. And the reason, by the way, guys, I would say to fire Pete Carroll, it's not that I think Pete Carroll's a bad coach, but if you're going to go into a full rebuild like I want the Seahawks to do, there's no reason to have an older coach who's trying to win right now. Pete Carroll almost on the verge of retiring at this point. He's older. He's getting up there. So I would fire him. I would trade DK Metcalf for a first-round pick. You've already got other first-round picks from the Denver Broncos in the Russell Wilson trade. But right now, it just kind of seems like Seattle they don't really know what they want to do. And that's a big issue that a lot of these teams face. It's like they don't want to tank, but they're also not good enough to contend. So why are you going to be giving a receiver a massive contract when you don't have the quarterback in place? I just don't understand that. You want to give DK Metcalf a massive extension? You want to keep Tyler Lockett, who's getting up there, when by the time your new window opens with a quarterback, Tyler Lockett's going to be too old. So I don't understand what the Seahawks are doing, but overall, we'll see with Carolina. Again, Baker's not that bad. It's kind of like a little project. You had to get somebody better than Darnold. This costs you nothing. Baker had a really, really good rookie year. He had a decent year 3. Year 2 with Freddie Kitchens was really bad. Last year he was playing injured. It was bad, whatever. His relationship with the Browns gets completely fractured with the whole Deshaun Watson thing, and they're forced to trade him for basically nothing. So we'll see how he does with Carolina. Of course, Baker Mayfield very likely going to be starting week 1 at home against the Cleveland Browns, and Jacoby Brissett if the Deshaun Watson suspension comes through. Amazing. That should have been a primetime game, right? It's a 1 o'clock game. At least put it on at 4 or something. But that is going to be a 1 o'clock game week 1 in Carolina. That's going to be great for the NFL. Guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.